Hi, everybody. The cognitive psychologists define a habit as automatic behaviors triggered by situational cues. The products and services we use habitually alter our everyday behavior, just as their designers intended. Our actions have been engineered. The companies increasingly find that their economic value is a function of the strengths of the habits they create. The brain automatically deduces that if the decision was a good one yesterday, then it is a safe bet again today, and the actions become a routine. Fostering consumer habits is an effective way to increase the value of a company by driving higher customer lifetime value. The user habits increase how long and how frequently customers use a product. Products that change customer routines are less susceptible to attacks from other companies. The habits you have more recently acquired are also the ones most likely to go soonest. People rarely change their habits for long. When we change our routines, neural pathways remain etched in our brains, ready to be reactivated when we lose focus. The behavior that occurs with enough frequency and perceived utility enter the habit zone. That will make it as a default behavior too. If either of these two factors falls short, it is less likely the desired behavior will become a habit. A habit is when not doing an action causes a bit of pain or itch. Seeking pleasure and avoiding pain are two key motivators in all spaces. New habits need a foundation upon which to build. Triggers provide the basis for sustained behavior change. Habits are built like pearls in an oyster. Too many choices or irrelevant options can cause hesitation, confusion, or worse, abandonment. Reducing the thinking required to take the next action increases the likelihood of the desired behavior occurring unconsciously. When a product becomes tightly coupled with a thought, an emotion, or a pre existing routine, it leverages an internal trigger. Emotions, particularly negative ones, are powerful internal triggers and greatly influence our daily routines. When creating a product, the company must first identify the particular frustration of pain point in emotional terms rather than product features. When creating your product or service, focus on what people actually do rather than what they wish they did. Ask yourself what pain their current habits solve and what the user might be feeling right before one of these actions. If you want to build a product that is relevant to folks, you need to put yourself in their shoes and you need to write a story from their side. Write user narrative. Ask the question, why, until you get to an emotion. Usually it's the fifth why. External triggers tell the user what to do next by placing information within the user's environment. Internal triggers tell the users what to do next through associations stored in the user's memory. To initiate action, doing must be easier than thinking. The more effort, either physical or mental, required to perform the desired action, the less likely it is to occur. Three ingredients are required to initiate any and all behaviors. The user must have sufficient motivation. The user must have the ability to complete the desired action. And triggers must be present to activate the behavior. All humans are motivated to seek pleasure and avoid fear, to seek social acceptance and avoid rejections. Understand the reason why people use a product or service. Next, lay out the steps the customer must take to get the job done. And then remove steps until you reach the simplest possible process. Without a clear trigger and sufficient motivation, there will be no behavior and less chance of a behavior change. Influencing behavior by reducing the effort required to perform an action is more effective than increasing someone else's desire to do it. A study showed that a product can decrease in perceived value if it starts off as a scarce and becomes abundant. When using punch cards to encourage repeat businesses, try giving out cards with some progress. People will feel a bigger want and need to fill the card and get the reward. What draws us to act is not the sensation we receive from the reward itself, but the need to alleviate the craving for the reward. We are all like children in that once we figure out what will happen next, we become less excited by the experience. To hold our attention, a product must have an ongoing degree of novelty. Our brains are adapted to seek rewards that make us feel accepted, attractive, important, and included. The need to feel social connectedness shapes our values and drives much of how we spend our time. People who observe someone being rewarded for a particular behavior are more likely to alter their own beliefs and subsequent actions. Rewards must fit into the narrative of why the product is used and align with the user's internal triggers and motivations. Telling people they are free to choose disarms their instinctive rejection of being told what to do. Too many companies build their products betting users will do what they may make them do, instead of letting them do what they want to do. To change behavior, products must ensure the users feel in control. The more users invest time and effort into a product or service, the more they value it. The studies reveal that our past is an excellent predictor of our future. The timing of asking for user investment is critically important. Ask for investment after users have received variable rewards. Reputation makes users, both buyers and sellers, are more likely to stick with whichever service they have invested their efforts to maintain a high quality scores. Once you have built a product, do a habit testing. First, dig into the data to identify how people are using the product. Study the actions and paths taken by devoted users. Finally, modify the product to influence more users to follow the same path as your habitual users. Stay blessed.